For the next part of your essay, you will compose the body paragraphs on slides 15 and 16 of your Literary Analysis Compare and Contrast Essay slide deck. These paragraphs are the second and third paragraphs of the essay. They come after the introduction and before the conclusion. Each body paragraph should be at least 5 sentences long and contain between 100 and 200 words. In this essay, your first body paragraph should focus on how the characters Dee from Everyday Use and the little girls from Legacy are similar. You should begin with a topic sentence, then copy one of the quotes from Everyday Use or Legacies that you've already selected and introduce it with a signal phrase. A signal phrase is a few words that tell your reader where the text evidence comes from, such as, in the poem Legacies, Nikki Giovanni writes, or in Everyday Use, Maggie says. After you've introduced your text evidence, you should then explain and analyze what it means and how it supports your claim that the two characters are similar. After you've then copy your quote from your other text, introduce it with a signal phrase, and explain how it supports your claim. For example, in Mrs. LaPaglia's essay about Jonas and the narrator of the poem Identity, she begins with a topic sentence, which is highlighted in orange here. Then she introduces her evidence from Identity, her signal phrase is highlighted in yellow, and her text evidence copied directly from the poem is highlighted in blue. After that, she analyzes the evidence, highlighted here in purple. Then the process repeats with a signal phrase, text evidence, and the analysis. The finished paragraph reads as follows. Freedom and individuality are critically important to both the narrator of Identity and Jonas. In Identity, the narrator proclaims that they would rather be a tall, ugly weed clinging on cliffs like an eagle, to live, to feel exposed to the madness of the vast eternal sky, strong and free. Through the imagery of their desire to be like a weed rather than a flower, the narrator rejects the common mundane life of everyday society. They would prefer to live their life outside of the constraints that are placed on everyone else. Similarly, Jonas protests that, if everything's the same, then there aren't any choices. I want to wake up in the morning and decide things. Once Jonas realizes that his life has been limited by sameness, he's gripped by a fierce desire to be an individual and make decisions for himself. In the next body paragraph, your focus should be on how the two characters are different from one another. Again, begin with a topic sentence, then copy one of the quotes from Everyday Use or Legacies that you've already selected and introduce it with the signal phrase. After you've inserted your text evidence, explain and analyze what it means and how it supports your claim that the two characters are different. Then, copy your quote from the other text, introduce it with another signal phrase, and explain how it supports your claim. You can see both exemplar paragraphs in your essay slide deck. If it's helpful to you, feel free to mix and match sentence starters from the 3.10 Pear Deck. For example, you might choose a few different sentence starters and organize them, adding your own quotes and thoughts to finish each sentence. So for example, you might pick both characters feel. In Legacies, Nikki Giovanni writes, Alice Walker explains, this evidence reveals, and the reader can infer because. You would then organize them with your topic sentence, introducing your quote, analyzing, introducing your next quote, and analyzing. As always, if you've looked through all of your resources and you're still stuck, reach out to your teacher. We're always here to support you, and we want to help you write the best essay possible.